Hello, my name is Andy Savory. I'm 57, about the same age that Hussein was when he was at Karbala. The courage, the long-term courage is amazing, totally amazing to me. I've always admired stories of courage and heroism whenever I've heard them throughout the world, and there are many, but never any at this level. It just is so far beyond what we ordinarily expect of each other in our daily lives that it stands as a beacon, a light to try to achieve. It's so easy in our daily lives to not cross at the crosswalk, to break the law in many little ways. We don't, in general, live honest lives. To find such a paragon, such a man, and try to understand a little bit of his life is, as I say, a beacon and a guide to my life, and I hope it will continue to be so.
Imagine the situation. Hussein and his companions leave Mecca with the women and the children of their community, and they're heading toward Karbala, where the final battle will take place. All the way they are shepherded along by a squadron of soldiers under the leadership of a man called Al-Hurr. They guide them, they force them in a certain direction. They're not allowed to turn back. One day they actually ride into the camp of Hussein, and Hussein notices that the men and their horses are in need of water. They're dry and thirsty. And so he shares his water with them. Imagine water in the desert. How important is that? He shares his water with them in an act of kindness and generosity. Some days later, we come to the field of battle itself. Al-Hurr is arranged with the enemy about to commence battle against Hussein. Al-Hurr's heart is moved by the kindness and generosity of Hussein, and so he breaks ranks, he rides down into the camp, throws himself on the ground at the feet of Hussein and says, "I'm the man who brought you here. I'm the man who brought you to death on this field of battle. Please forgive me." Hussein reaches his hand down to him. He raises him to his feet. He restores him to human dignity, gives him forgiveness, and then Al-Hurr takes up his arms and fights together with Hussein, because here was a man who was touched by the qualities of Hussein, his kindness, his noble spirit, his generosity, his compassion, and he saw his own self and sought forgiveness.
Hello, my name's Andy. I'm the head of religious publishing at Collins, and the more I think about Hussein, the more I think he's an important person for our society to take notice of. The reason I think that is because I think we have a real lack of role models in society, people for us to look towards and see what it means to be great. We tend to look towards our celebrities, our favourite musicians, our sports people and so on. But real greatness is to do with sacrificial living, doing something good for the benefit of somebody else and not for our own glory. And when we look at Hussein, we look at his life, we look at his death, we see that greatness embodied. And his principles of forgiveness, of peace, of equality are things that I really admire about him. So that's why I find him inspiring, and I hope that when you find out more about him, you'll find him inspiring too.
Hussein was a great personality. He was a person who stood up against evil, against oppression, against tyranny. He stood up for the weak and the oppressed. He was not only a great man, but he was a great family man. He was good with the people. He was a great speaker. He was loyal, and he was very truthful. Hussein stood up against evil dictators of his time and refused to give in his beliefs and refused to pledge allegiance to the corrupt and evil people of his age. He was a great and inspirational leader, a great personality who has always been remembered throughout history. And although there's been many, many people who have tried to oppress his memories and tried to oppress his name throughout history, even today he's still remembered by many people for being the great personality that he was for standing up against evil, for talking about the small and the weak, and for not giving in and never ever sacrificing his beliefs for corrupt and evil reasons.
And we're just discussing Imam Hussein and the Shia people and how terribly aggrieved and brutalized the Shia have been since Karbala, and how inspiring Imam Hussein has been for my life. I have survived many things. During a dark period of my life when I was diagnosed with cancer, I looked to the message of Karbala, the relationship that he had with his brother, the sorrow that he must have felt when all of his family and friends were being killed around him. One day, please God, I hope to visit Najaf and walk the pilgrimage to Karbala and put my hands into that river where they could not take a drink of water for the children. But I just really want to encourage you that you have a very beautiful message in your religion and your faith, and you have an incredible example in the life of Imam Hussein.